Every wrestling legend follows their own path to fame and glory, but you won't be crowned wrestling royalty without harnessing the power of the Masters to ignite your quest. Your rise to stardom begins at the feet of giants, and the only way to earn a legend's respect is victory. Training with the best is never easy, but wear those bruises with pride. You're going to need all the help you can get to unlock your potential and win the support of legendary wrestling icons. Once they're on your side, those legends become extremely powerful allies. Enlist their help as managers to energize your team. Wield their awesome power moves to tilt the match in your favor and unleash your own brand of mayhem. So, get ready to begin your legendary journey, because it's time for WrestleQuest!
Let's get it. Mike Sempervive here with you for the next hour, talking about professional wrestling, which is something we do every single day here on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. Tune in, iHeart, American Forces Radio, sportsbyline.com, over-the-air affiliates like KMAV, 99 KMSR, and the mightier 1090. Podcast, replays on Sirius XM, video streaming on Twitch or YouTube. However you're joining me today, I'd just like to say thank you. Hopefully, wherever you are, it's sunny outside, and if not, hopefully it's sunny inside your mind. The big boss man, Bryan Alvarez, not here because it is a Friday. That's all right. I got Filthy Tom Lawler, who's going to be joining me shortly. Made the joke yesterday that if Brian's not here, maybe some big news will hit. Maybe we'll find out exactly what is going on with WWE's TV deal when it comes to Monday Night Raw. That did not happen. Although we have some news via the Wrestling Observer newsletter when it comes to the TV, but we do also have news. It's just not very fortunate news coming out of Stamford today, as Mackenzie Mitchell announced on her social media that she has been released from WWE and her backstage role as an interviewer in NXT. She says, quote, "Today I was released by WWE. I met my husband, moved across country from Connecticut to Florida for NXT, and met friends that became like family. I've always said and firmly believe when one door closes, another opens." Mackenzie, who is married to NXT announcer Vic Joseph, they got married in October of 2022, has been with WWE since September of 2019 after a short stint in Impact Wrestling doing the same role. WrestleNomics' Brandon Thurston tweeted today that WWE has laid off more corporate employees as well. According to multiple people at the company, this follows layoffs of more than 100 employees in September following the closing of the TKO merger. And as the show goes on today, we'll let you know about any other on-air talent that gets released. We've got a big weekend of wrestling coming up, as we always do, starting with tonight, WWE SmackDown, AEW Rampage, and CMLL. Tomorrow, Collision, and a bunch of Japanese shows we can get into with Filthy Tom Lawler when we get back on Wrestling Observer Live. Welcome back to the show. Mike Sempervive here with you. We do this show right here for an hour at a time every single day, but if you want us 24/7, you can find us on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, at Sempervive, at Filthy Tom Lawler, and at Sports Byline USA. Don't forget, at Jim Valley as well, the King of Recovery will be back live on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. You can also watch the show for free on Jim's YouTube page as well. Well, he'll interact with you and answer your questions and be all nice and all that to you. I assume he is, at least. I don't think Jim would go off on anybody, but you can check that show out. I'd also like for you to check out the wrestling news, everything you need to know to get your day started or get you up to date in the world of professional wrestling. Get you to your favorite wrestling review pod like Dave and Brian so you can hear them argue. Daily, free, in between 5 and 15 minutes long. No clickbait, no speculation, no rumors, no paywall, just the wrestling news. For more information, you can go to thewrestlingnews.com and at Wrestling News AV on Facebook and Twitter. Without any other further ado, I got to bring in Filthy Tom Lawler, but I do so in asking you about the biggest controversy taking place in all of professional wrestling this week. Where do you weigh in on whether it's the company or it's the consumer when it comes to recording the AEW overruns on the DVR, Tom?
100% Brian is in the wrong.
Oh, wait. No, because now you're putting me in the wrong as well, too. Why?
As a professional, as a paid professional wrestling journalist, it's his job to cover wrestling, no matter if YouTube TV screws it up, which, by the way, it's his choice to use that service, right? He could watch this through a number of other ways. He could watch it live. He could also log in every day and look and just go, oh, wait a minute, okay. AEW Dynamite's on at the same time every single day. What's on right after that? And then click record on what comes after that.
Well, how about for the average consumer, though? How about for the average person? Take it out of Brian's hands and the professional journalists and just put it in the hands of the consumer. Do you put that all on them, too? Or do you just go ahead and try to fix it from, AEW or however that works side?
Well, if you're a company, I would assume you would want the most eyes on your product, and having it not available to a portion of the public who has already chosen to try to watch that could inevitably turn some viewers away. So as a company, they should be shoring that up. Now, whether that is a communication issue on the part of the streaming services and AEW, whether it's a communication issue on the part of just the streaming services or vice versa, just AEW, I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, as a company, that should be handled. But as a professional, you should be searching out new wrestling, not only just watching what's available to you. And if that means you have to search out something that you missed because your DVR didn't capture it, then so be it.
Hey,
the people
fan
are
is
looking
short for fanatic, okay? Be fanatical about your wrestling, people.
The way I look at it, Mike, we are here to record history. Right.
Document it and such, yes.
Do you think the historians of the past would have gone, well, that battle, that area that Genghis Khan just took over, that's outside our jurisdiction. I'm not going to learn about that. I'm not going to search that out. No, Mike, it is our job to provide what happens inside that squared circle, outside of those ropes, backstage. It's our job to document that and provide that to the people so that future generations can learn from and choose not to make these same mistakes. So, TNA, I urge you. MLW, I urge you. CMLL, any company with a television deal. NWA, I urge you on that CW app. Communicate with the services, communicate with the streaming providers out there, and make sure that we can watch your product.
My God, we should have had God Bless America playing in the background or something like that as you went along on that thing. We should probably get away from the DVR thing now and actually talk about, documenting the wrestling that's taking place, which begins tonight with WWE SmackDown, live tonight from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. SmackDown's version of the fallout from last Saturday's Survivor Series War Games. They've announced a total of one match for tonight. Kevin Owens is going to take on Grayson Waller. Also on the show, U.S. champion Logan Paul will make his television return, and Randy Orton is going to make an appearance after accepting the invitation extended to him by general manager Nick Aldis. Locally advertised dark matches, Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio and Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. While we will not give you any spoilers when it comes to AEW Rampage, we will give you this possible spoiler reported earlier on today by PW Insider. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are expected back on tonight's show. Gallows had been out with a knee injury while Anderson was just chilling somewhere. AJ Styles has not been seen since getting beaten down and taken in an ambulance to a local medical facility after running across Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa on the September 22nd SmackDown, which opened the door for LA Knight to come in and team with John Cena against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at Fastlane. So that is that. Now, I did mention at the very beginning, there is news on the TV deal as it relates to WBD, at least in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is up for subscribers on the main page right now. Quote, Paul Levesque was not at Raw this week because he and Nick Khan were in Los Angeles trying to finalize the new Raw television deal. They were hoping for $400 million, but analysts believe it will be closer to $387 million per year. Poor babies, obviously. For most of the negotiation period, the idea was FX, owned by Disney, as the leader, with Netflix, NBC Universal's USA Network, WBD, and Amazon Prime all being talked about. Regarding WBD, Dave noted, quote, would be the game changer in many ways if it had happened. The WBD version told to many this past week is that Nick Khan last went to WBD in October with a pitch and was turned down, end quote. He went on to write that those in WWE constantly had WBD as a long shot for the reason they believed WBD owned a percentage of AEW. In the deal announced this past September, WWE is going to receive $287 million a year from the USA Network to air SmackDown beginning in October of 2024. If you feel bad for Nick Khan about missing out on this deal with WBD, never fear. Later in the newsletter, Dave wrote that Nick, on November 22nd, got himself a Thanksgiving present as he was awarded 153,676 shares of TKO, which was valued this week at about $12.3 million. So a lot there for you, Filthy, to take in. They are making a whole lot of money here. Raw still up in the air on where it will land. It seems as if WBD is going to be out of that picture right now. Where do you foresee this thing landing? FX makes a lot of sense, and personally, I would like it more than Amazon Prime because it's hard enough watching one football game there a week. That's all I'd like to do.
Mike, can we get some sort of diagram, a family tree, a 23andMe of all these television networks and where they come from and who they're now adopted by and affiliated with? Did you say Disney owns FX?
They do. Yes, they do.
FX used to be a Fox subsidiary, right? They just dropped the O.
Yes, it was. And then they got FXX, which is also owned by Disney, I think.
Okay. But Disney and Fox are not the same one company.
No, they are not.
Okay.
There's going to be a quiz on this later. Just for you, Filthy. Not for the listeners. Don't you worry about that. Whole lot more to get into when we get back from break. Wrestling Observer Live.
No fish can swim this far upshore.
Yeah.
Shoulders ran like the wind, but he could find no peace.
Back on the show, Mike Sempervive and Filthy Tom Lawler here with you on Wrestling Observer Live. Just had a big conversation during the break over will the olds turn into Amazon Prime if USA Network and FX and all these other channels don't get it and they take the money that's reportedly, possibly, conceivably out there from Amazon and they put Raw on there. One, I got to be all right, Tom. If they take the money and put it on there, I think there's a risk that you run of losing olds that don't know and don't care about watching. Again, the ones that don't watch football that are currently watching Amazon Prime, I think you do risk losing some of those people, even though it may be insignificant. I don't know. But also, if you do make that move and move it off Monday night, do you think that there's going to be an issue? Because we've seen wrestling programs get moved to other basic cable stations that are easy to find, and people just act like they have no idea what's going on. Do you think there's going to be an issue if they move not only to Amazon, but decide to move it off Monday night and put it on Wednesday or whatever?
Well, I think they're undoubtedly going to lose some people. People maybe like wrestling journalists who can't figure out their own DVR. Those people may not be able to figure out how to watch Raw on a different night or different service. But I think most of the people who want to watch it will find a way to watch it. Now, Mike, I'm looking at the ratings for some of these Thursday night games on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
4.7 ratings, 9.79 million viewers for Jaguars and Saints.
No,
I mean,
well,
you know what I mean? We're talking,
easy,
not good
producer
football,
Daniel, easy.
right?
Yeah, well, they're not exactly.
And we've got almost 10
they're not
million
exactly
people watching this. So, you know, you keep Raw on a Monday, it ends up on Amazon Prime, which I brought up to you is not a service that most people are going to have to buy. even the olds probably have Amazon Prime. I wonder what the Friday game did. The Black Friday game on Amazon.
Black Friday game?
Because that's outside of the normal time slot that they run. I wonder if that did gangbusters ratings or how it did, because that could provide a glimpse as to what happens when Raw moves to a different time slot. And if it did
maybe, but here would be my volley back to you on that is, give me ratings of something else on Amazon that's not the NFL. You know what I mean? Give me.
They don't have a lot of live programming. It's basically that and ONE FC. I don't know what else is on there, but I believe it's mostly, television shows, movies, original programming, and it's a lot better option than Netflix.
Well, the one thing is you don't have that churn possibility, I wouldn't think. That's the biggest thing is, for those people that have Amazon Prime, the video aspect of it is kind of the bonus. You're using it to shop mostly, and then they give you Amazon Music or Kindle or this or that through it. So the odds of you getting sick of it or forgetting about it or whatever, the odds of you wanting to cut costs when it comes to some of these streaming networks, I would assume Amazon is, because it's got more functional use for your everyday life, is the one that you would probably cut last, right?
I would say so, yeah. I would get rid of virtually every other streaming service I have before Amazon Prime, just because of the value in free shipping and the amount of boxes you can get and load up on that you have to break down and put away. Otherwise, your wife puts a knife to your throat. You know what I mean?
Well, does she, as she holds that knife to your throat, does she whisper in your ear, "You should have took the Prime Day for less boxes"? Does she ever do that?
Actually, what she does, she puts the knife up to my throat, much in the vein of Big Al and Tank Abbott. And then my kids go, "She's going to cut your beard, Daddy. She's going to cut your beard." For those of you that don't get the reference, don't worry.
It's a hell of a callback.
It's a deep cut, much like the one Big Al almost got from Tank Abbott way back in WCW days. But there are so many things, so much value, like you said, that you get out of Amazon Prime. I can't imagine you would have people cutting that, cutting that service and cutting down on the potential viewers. Now, you're not going to have like a huge amount of people signing up for Amazon Prime due to WWE programming, I would imagine. But hey,
well, look, if it ends up being a successful thing, those rights for the WWE network are going to be up in 2025, I think. I can't remember what it is. I don't have it in front of me here with when that deal runs out with Peacock. But I mean, there is a possibility that, again, if things are working out well, because I'm assuming that Amazon is going to offer the most money. That's what I am going to assume, at least, as compared to the linear cable channels, right? So they're probably going to offer the most. So if this works out well for both sides, WWE now at least has somebody else other than Peacock in play to try to take the network and to try to take all the on-demand stuff and all that stuff.
Plus, Amazon's going to need something. They're going to need a big lead-in for this Roadhouse remake.
Why are they making? Are they responsible for remaking Roadhouse? Shame.
Yeah.
Why would you remake that? Are they going to remake Over the Top too?
I wish.
Don't do that. Unless you get cast in it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or how about, I'd rather be cast in a new age version of Fist, the old Federation of Interstate Truckers, which was Stallone's real first big hit.
Never mind. I was going to go somewhere with that, but I'm not. Where I'm going to go now is AEW Rampage, also being Friday night, with matches taped Wednesday night at the Target Center in Minneapolis. If you like tag team matches, this is your show. There are 4 of them, all multi-person matches. 8-man tag. Like I said, no spoilers here, but when I start going through these, I think it'll be pretty easy to tell who wins. Danhausen, Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta against Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and the Dark Order's Alex Reynolds and Evil Uno. Tom, I don't know. This is the one I'm most in doubt about. Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Powerhouse Hobbs against Ja C, Kit Sackett, and Rennie D. What do you think the odds are that the latter team picks up the victory?
I don't want to steal a phrase from Conor McGregor, but who are those guys?
I know who Ja C is. I don't know who the other cats are. Ja, stay out of the ring. Let those other two boys take the beating. Six-man tag, Io Del Vikingo, Commander, and Penta El Zero Miedo against Brian Cage and the Workhorsemen. I assume that this is going to be the main event. I don't know, though, because there's also a six-woman tag with Hikaru Shida, Chris Statlander, and Sky Blue against Anna Jay, Ruby Soho, and Soraya. So that's what's planned for Rampage tonight. Yes,
As a paid professional wrestling media member who covers Rampage, I would guess if Sky Blue is in the match, that's the Rampage main event, if I had to put money on it, but I could be wrong.
Looking at those,
I believe she holds more Rampage main events than anyone else in the history of the show. I'd have to check. At least this year, for sure.
I know with Rampage, it doesn't really matter. It's going to do the number that it's going to do, but do you open the show again? Because I have no idea on how they filmed it or anything. Do you open the show with Vikingo, Commander, and Penta against Cage and the Workhorsemen then? That's what I would probably do, just to showcase those guys flying around.
Do you watch Rampage regularly?
I have to go back on DVR and never live.
I never watch it live, or rarely either, but it always seems as if the show starts with guys in the ring ready to do some crazy moves. So I would start off the show with that, and based on prior knowledge or prior viewing, good bet it does open the show.
Collision tomorrow night, live on TNT from the Erie Insurance Arena in Erie, Pennsylvania. 3 Continental Classic Blue League matches are scheduled. Claudio against Brody King, Andrade against Daniel Garcia, Bryan Danielson against Eddie Kingston. Look, you can poke fun at Tony Khan loving battle royals and tournaments. You can point out a lot of plot holes that have led into this and have concern about what happens to guys and their pushes or lack of them coming out of this. Sure. The matches themselves, I mean, it's pretty awesome. You got 3 matches for free on TV, all of which would be main events, certainly on the indie scene, and frankly, looking at Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston, pretty much almost anywhere, certainly in AEW, and I bet that's going to be the main event of tomorrow. But what have you thought so far, for those who have not had a chance to hear you on Filthy 4 Daily with Brian, for members of the website? What have you thought about this tournament so far, and what do you think about coming up on Saturday?
Like you said, Mike, everything in ring has been great. The people who you would imagine would lose generally have lost the matches, I would say. You do have a big upset already with Brody King defeating the current New Japan Strong Openweight champion Eddie Kingston. Brody King, who I may add, I defeated to win the New Japan Cup USA and win the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship.
Facts.
Yeah. And much like that match was good, much like everything on Wednesday night was good, I expect the rest of the tournament's going to be awesome. We could talk about it more after the break.
Wrestling Observer Live. Back on the show, Mike Sempervive and Filthy Tom Lawler here with you on Wrestling Observer Live. It is a Filthy Friday here on the show. I don't know how filthy we're going to be getting with Ric Flair tonight. We talked about the AEW Rampage card. Will they have Ric Flair's promo on there? Will they edit the promo saying that he wants all 18 to 28-year-olds without their husbands, without their boyfriends, to come up to his hotel room in classic Ric Flair style? Tom, it's Ric Flair. He is a polarizing figure at this point. Would you expect anything else other than what you heard from Ric Flair? And should they air that promo in its entirety tonight?
It's hard to say in this situation what's right or wrong because, if you take out his past transgressions, which you shouldn't when you view this, he really isn't saying anything that would be deemed illegal, right? He is talking about...
Yes, he did not say 8 to 80, young, crippled, and crazy. Yes, no, he did not do
although, as long as they have their mental faculties, I would imagine they could do whatever they want. But, is it gross? Yeah, undoubtedly. Is this an image that I want in my mind? No.
No.
At 12:41 p.m. on a Friday, when I've got the whole weekend ahead of me, Thanksgiving's supposed to be in the past, and now all I can think about is this turkey gobbler floating around, flapping in the wind.
Woo.
I hope they don't air the promo, or at least they could cut that part out. I thought the promo with he and Sting and Tony Schiavone on Wednesday was phenomenal.
Yes.
It looked like Ric Flair was ready to cry. It looked like Sting was ready to cry. It looked like Tony Schiavone was maybe going to show an emotion. I felt like I was going to cry. And that's the Ric Flair I want to remember. I want to remember an old grandfather, Ric Flair, out there. Not the guy
Rest
trying
your
to...
grandmother's couch.
Yeah. The guy that took the polyester cloth off of her couch and is now wearing it and trying to live up to the guy on the Woo energy can. I'm sorry, I know you said it's Ric Flair. Should we expect any different? Well, people do grow and change for the better sometimes. And
what in his career, what in his life has given you the idea that he is changed or been anything other than Ric Flair?
Well, I thought he really hit the nail on the head when he said the best moment in wrestling that could happen would be he and John Cena coming out to congratulate Charlotte at the end of SmackDown on beating their TV record. He said that would draw the biggest ratings, get the biggest response from the crowd.
Well, he can't do it for at least 2 years, and God knows what happens to the Woo energy drink at that point. Have you tried any of those? Have you seen any of those in the wild? I have not.
I'm still here talking to you, Mike. The answer is no.
That's right. Yeah, I guess your esophagus is still intact, so I guess in your mind as well, too, since it is a mushroom-based drink, I believe. So, yep, the Woo energy drink. Let's see him drink it. Let's see anybody drink it. I'd like to see any. In fact, if you have, my Twitter is @Sempervive. If you are drinking a Woo energy drink, please, I want to see you do it. I want to see you crack the can. I want to see you take this stuff down. And then I want to see about an hour later, post up another video to see exactly where you're at after ingesting that, because it may be a local medical facility. I'd like to find this stuff out for myself. But AEW All-In tickets went on sale to the general public today, next August 25th at Wembley Stadium. The pre-sale began on the 27th, so they are up and at 'em when it comes to that. AEW Dynamite from Wednesday night. I don't believe we mentioned this yesterday, so I'll go ahead and do it now. Wednesday night's episode of Dynamite averaged 858,000 viewers on TNT, up slightly from last week. Largest viewership total for the show since October 18th, which was the last time that they had a Wednesday Dynamite before the NBA season started. So not bad of a number, I don't think. Obviously you want to be over 900, but 858,000 I thought was better than expected, coming off of NXT, in my opinion, being lower than I would have expected that number to be. So any other thoughts on any of that stuff, Tom?
Yeah, Mike, were you aware that
Yes, sir.
Woo Energy is also the official energy drink of the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Flavors including dragon fruit, lemon, and strawberry banana.
Dragon
Have
fruit.
you tried the Hulk Hogan vape?
No, there's a Hulk Hogan vape.
There's a Hulk Hogan nicotine vape.
Wait, a nicotine vape? Not even a THC vape? What happened to Ric Flair? Wasn't he in the weed business? Didn't somebody license his name and likeness for, like, Woo Weed or whatever the hell it was called?
No, it is the Ric Flair drip, I believe.
Is it real, like, THC, or is it, like, Delta 9 or some nonsense like that?
No, I believe it's the real deal. I believe it's the RVD Matt Riddle approved real deal. The Hulk Hogan Hulkamania disposable vape, 8,000 puffs. One for every pound that Andre the Giant weighed when Hulk Hogan slammed him at WrestleMania.
Oh, God.
Disposable just like his spine.
Anything else to that?
I'm going to try to find the flavors.
Well, you got to have full flavored Hulkster, right? I wonder if they're all in, like, Hulkster, like, the little Hulkster is the ultralight,
Yeah. I guess we have watermelon ice, blue raz ice, cherry lemon, mint, and triple berry.
Cherry lemon mint.
Really missing out on some marketing, chances with the flavors here on this and the Woo energy drink.
Well, yeah, you got to pair them. Obviously, so you want a good balance. It's like a cigar and an ice wine and a brandy or something like that. You want to try to find that level balance there. But let me move over to the Japanese scene here for a minute, because there are a couple of things that stand out this weekend. New Japan, All Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, Stardom, all of the big companies have shows going on. The most notable news-wise is going to be Stardom, I would assume, but one of the more interesting things is coming out of Pro Wrestling Noah, where Keno and Jinsei Shinzaki, better known to some as Hakushi, will face Manabu Soya and Tatsumi Fujinami in the main event of Saturday's show. Fujinami will turn 70 years old on December 28th. The last time he was in such a high-profile match was on January 4th at the Tokyo Dome, the pre-show Antonio Inoki tribute match where he teamed with Minoru Suzuki and Tiger Mask 4 in a loss against Satoshi Kojima, one of Tom's favorite people right now, Togi Makabe, and Yuji Nagata. You'd think, well, man, that was nice, and damn near 70 years old. He's coming back for this one. Including that match, he has wrestled 13 times this year, the last one coming in a six-man tag on November 17th for his own Tradition promotion. He is an amazing figure in so many ways, Tatsumi Fujinami, and physically, yeah, he looks a lot older, but I tell you what, he looks like he's in his mid-50s as opposed to pushing 70 years old, Tom.
If we can, Mike, you talked about the great shape that Tatsumi Fujinami is in. Let's not forget Jinsei Shinzaki, who the last time I saw him was on the one of the Muta retirement tour shows, where he was in a match with Muta, with Akira, some other people.
Some folks.
Yeah, some folks. And he was the standout in that match. Now here he is teaming with Keno, who I believe he trained. If not, he was at least a mentor to in Michinoku Pro. And I would imagine that Jinsei Shinzaki will show out once again in this match. One of my favorite wrestlers to watch to this day. A big fan of Hakushi, who, if you remember, if you know, if you peruse the internet long enough, you would realize used virtually a different finisher in every single win he had in the WWF, which is a great little tidbit, a great little tactic to use in the world of real fighting in sports.
Probably best known for the praying power bomb. I think that would be, I think that would probably be the move that some people would remember him for. Manabu Soya.
I would say the rope walk maybe
That's
is
true.
more iconic move. And if anybody has ever seen this man rope walk barbed wire ropes before, it's something you can never forget.
One of my all-time favorite comfort matches, and it is not held up over time as far as I thought it was one of the best matches of the year that year.
I know where you're going, buddy.
You know it. It's Hakushi and Hayabusa, or I'm sorry, Jinsei Shinzaki and Hayabusa against RVD and Cebu. Was it Heatwave 98? Maybe. Yep. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that match, I love going back and watching it. It kicks so much ass.
Yeah, and apparently, because I believe Jinsei Shinzaki has a kind of extensive series of notes based on his wrestling over the years, I believe they barely made it in time to actually wrestle in that match, if memory serves correct. So to do that on the fly, and that was at the time, like you said, it doesn't hold up now, but really it was kind of like revolutionary. When you were watching it, it was just big move after big move from guys who were also big guys. You know what I mean? Flying around out there. Hayabusa was a big guy. Jinsei Shinzaki is a big guy. RVD is a big guy.
To say, again, not as deceptive as some, but like Rob Van Dam is not like he's not a small dude. I mean, you see him in there. Just look at the matches with Jerry Lynn, and Jerry Lynn, was more cut up when they would go at it and everything. But RVD is like, he's not a small guy. He's not a monster or anything like that. And in the land of WWE, when he was there, obviously he looked a lot smaller when you have the Billy Guns of the world running around. But yeah, it's still... And I guess he's been out of retirement. He has been out of retirement a couple times. And, with some of the issues that he's had, it's nice to see him in one piece. And I do want to mention, because we didn't get to it yesterday, Serena Deeb is coming back, and that's nice to hear. Obviously a great technical wrestler, somebody that I think that division, I don't think she didn't have to be pushed to the level of a Mercedes Moné or somebody like that, but certainly somebody who can help out that roster. And fortunately had a series of seizures that they apparently have taken care of now, and she is now cleared. So all of the best to Serena Deeb as she is now making her comeback. Hear the music right there. Filthy and I will be back after this break on Wrestling Observer Live.
We've almost reached the pinnacle of the tour, but this is one of the most important things. This is the computer. This is the workstation where I do the majority of the actual physical part of putting Figure 4 together. I do the writing here, the editing here, of course the phone calls, even the microphone here when we used to do Wrestling Observer Live, which has since died. And in fact, I better put the screensaver on here so this doesn't get burned in the screen. But putting the newsletter together, people understand, it's a lot of hard work and dedication, like 2 to 3 hours per week sometimes I have to spend on it. And, hold on a second. Figure 4, who's this? Carl Thorillo? Yeah. Yeah, hey, listen, can I call you back? I'm doing something here right now. My fridge? Yes, running. Hello? Probably call Anyway, this is, like I said, computer. Got the TV here. This is pretty much the place. This is going to be a quick tour of the trophy room. This is actually my trophy case. It's made of mahogany, very expensive. But what is worth far more than the case itself is what is inside, and that is the medals from the various sports and the accomplishments that I've achieved during my lifetime. This first drawer here is my gymnastics medals. Here, I got state and such. These are my Taekwondo medals. These down here, amateur wrestling medals. And down here are the 26 medals that I won in the 5-kilometer walk down to the Bothell Landing over the course of the past 5 years. And, you know, I realize that I'm a 4-sport superstar right here, and some people, you know, it might bother them that they haven't had such achievements in their life, but I think that the whole point is that you can achieve anything. You know, if you can make a great pie, you can win the pie eating contest at the Puyallup Fair, and I don't know, hell, if you can eat a good pie, you might win the pie eating contest as well. So there's achievement in this life for everybody.
Back on the show, Mike Sempervive and Filthy Tom Lawler here with you to put a bow on this Filthy Friday. Tom, we've had a lot of fun today. We've had a lot of laughs. We've hopefully informed the people on some things that maybe they didn't know before. But one thing that I know that some of the people like is Satoshi Kojima. Big bread-eating somebody that he is, the king of carbohydrates. You and he will be facing off very soon for MLW. In fact, I believe it's coming up on December 7th. Do you have any words for Satoshi Kojima here on your last Wrestling Observer Live before that match?
One shot is a fitting name for the show. It's only going to take one shot for me to put Kojima to sleep.
You done screwed up, Kojima. Alexander Hammerstone, boy, we didn't talk about that on here. What is it like being a stablemate of all of these men? What is it like to be in the world of WTF?
Basically, it's a lot of lifted weights and tanning.
I can see that with Hammerstone, yeah. I can see that.
That's about it. Matt Cardona, Josh Bishop, MSL. We're all jacked, vascular.
What else you got coming up?
On Saturday, I'll be fighting for the Relentless Pro heavyweight title against Kada. Sunday, Deadlock Pro in Durham, North Carolina. Me and
awesome.
West Coast Wrecking Crew taking on LeBron Calzone and Violence is Forever. Always a great show.
LeBron Calzone?
Yeah, I'm going to eat him up. I'm hungry too, Kojima.
Oh, man.
And then check out Wrestling Observer Live next week with who, Mike?
The boss man, Bryan Alvarez. I think.
And?
Oh, and me, of course. And you doing the Daily Show. Hey, Producer Daniel, Producer John, thank you very much. And I thank you out there for listening. We shall talk to you again after a while.